All right, we are live. Hi, everybody. Today we are doing Scale with Strategy, and we're talking about TikTok videos and reels and how your brand shows up. If you may have noticed, I have two very special guests with me today. So my name is Elizabeth McFadden. I'm the CEO and Director of Brand Strategy here at Novella Brand House. And April Beach, my normal co-host, she is out today. She's taking her oldest son back to college. So I brought in these two lovely ladies because they are experts on what we're talking about today. So I have Kelly Clinken, and yes, right next to me, and she is the director of client engagement, also heads up our marketing strategy here at Novella. And then Miss Sarah Tomes with Digital Otter. And she is also part of our team here at Novella because she runs all the paid social media campaigns. So we're going to hop into it. What we're talking about today, as I said, is videos, reels, and TikTok. And how does your brand show up for those? And I think this is one of those things that, like, whether you're managing a brand, you're an owner of a company, you're a marketing manager, I mean, whatever it might be, when you start talking about or thinking about video, reels, TikTok, I mean, it's like you break out in hives, and that makes people super nervous, but it's really important. And so I wanted to talk today and kind of break some of these things down because it is doable. And I think there's some things out there, kind of maybe some myths we're going to talk about. So video, let's just start there because obviously that's what this all is. And kind of the overall importance of it. I mean, then you guys jump in. I think that, obviously video is not something that is new. It's something that is here. It's something that your brand really, you have to figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, I think what's new about it now is it's more like snackable content where it's just these little quips, and I think we're all having like, oh my gosh, how do we figure that out? I think anybody can do some long videos, or not anybody, but a lot of us can figure out long video format, but how do we like get our brand message out there in 15 seconds or under 1 minute? I think that's the challenge.
Yeah, and then each platform is different too. So, what may work on one platform is not going to work really well on the other. I was just reading an article this morning, in fact, about Madewell, how they are doing, they've got a whole like organic video campaign, and they also have paid video ads as well. But this article really was focusing on the organic, and they're creating certain type of video for TikTok and a certain type of video for reels because different things work differently.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that makes sense because it's a little bit different audience too on those platforms. So they're probably adjusting it just based on those audiences too.
Yeah, and each audience wants something different, like the different type of video to consume. So, Kelly and Sarah, you guys work a lot on marketing campaigns for clients, I know that when we were doing a campaign for a client, Kenneth Estates, one of the things that we were needing to refresh content for those ads. And so kind of talk a little bit about like Sarah especially, like how important is video for paid social media ads?
It's everything. It's common for me when I'm setting up a campaign to test all different types of creatives. We test long video, short video, still images that are put into a video form. And almost always it's the video that converts because it helps the user to like understand your brand better. And the algorithm obviously favors it. So it's really something that brands like kind of have to get behind.
Yeah. And, again, we've done a number of campaigns where we're creating like with the Kansas City Health Department. We obviously worked with our video partner, KJO Media, and we created like essentially what is a TV spot these days? Like not a lot of people are running, like TV like they used to, but they are doing TV spots, but like on streaming and on some of these things. So in one way, in a sense, you've got to create like this very professionally done, like, TV spot for that kind of thing. But when if you're doing like a paid campaign on, Instagram or like, Facebook or something, can clients use more like the type of video that they might create for like or an organic post? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that you can use a little bit of both. I mean, I think especially with TikTok, if you're having it like an ad and it's really overly produced, it just sticks out like a sore thumb. Immediately it's an ad. So like for that platform particularly, it's advantageous to have something that looks really, really organic. And that's been the trend for like 5 years now. I'll have clients that'll be like, oh my gosh, I have to produce this video. And it's like, no, just bust out your iPhone and take it, and it's like sometimes the less produced it looks, the better it performs. And with TikTok and even Reels to some extent, that's advantageous for the client to do.
And you've seen that with big brands too.
Yes.
She had mentioned Madewell earlier. I mean, you're really seeing that across the board with a lot of big brands. It really does look like it was just, and it probably was just filmed from somebody's iPhone, and it just makes it just more real and authentic. And that is what the
Pulls
users,
people in.
yes, that's what they're
Yeah.
going to gravitate towards, because it just looks like something that was just in their feed, not even necessarily an ad. So I feel like that's definitely.
I kind of find like when I have a client who is just like, I don't know what to do with TikTok or Reels, get on TikTok and start saving videos that you don't actually notice it's a sponsored post. Because if you look down in the lower left-hand corner, it will say sponsored. But if it takes you a few seconds to go and you're interacting, that's what you kind of need to emulate. And you're wasting your money if you do something that's overly produced on those platforms these days.
Yeah,
So
I feel like that's the best. That's the best probably advice right there. Is just get on those platforms and just and what are you gravitating towards, and what and just start to maybe
what your audience is gravitating towards.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, as a brand, you should know your audience inside and out. So what kinds of content would they want and would they like? Okay, so let's shift over to TikTok because like you guys both said, you need to get on. I mean, if you're going to be on these platforms, whether in a paid campaign or an organic campaign, you need to understand what's going on over there, because what you might do on TikTok is not going to work on Instagram, is not going to work on, Facebook or YouTube or whatever. Like all these different platforms have their really their own niche. And so you want to understand how your audience specifically is utilizing it, and then how you should show up there authentically. And you don't always need to show up on every platform, but that's a whole other topic. Okay, so that's another topic for another day. Okay, so TikTok, one of the things, research. I feel like research is everything, especially on TikTok, because trends. So, anybody watching has probably heard like, TikTok trends, or this is a trend. So, a piece of advice is have somebody spend like 2 to maybe 3 hours a week researching trends on TikTok, because that is a way to help you, be found, and that's what gets served up in the algorithm. And then again, like what we were just talking about, you have to be your brand, right? Like not everything makes sense for you.
Yes, just because it might be trending on TikTok doesn't mean it's trending for your brand and your audience. So
true.
That's a big piece of advice. I feel
that is a big piece.
Yeah.
You know that TikTok, when you sign up, if you're a new business signing up, make sure that you get a pro account, because they have so much data, and it's fascinating and interesting right there for you, that will help you make some decisions on what kind of content you should be producing, what the trends are, what trends make sense for your brand, things like that. So like TikTok has essentially said that they actually don't understand their own algorithm, which is kind of
blows my mind.
An interesting, it's not like Facebook where they just like have it down. They don't really understand it yet, but they do have a lot of data that can show you where it is like right now, but that could change. So you have to really keep, like Elizabeth said, have somebody on your team constantly on top of this and researching.
Well, and I think another good piece of advice is, even if you're like if you're unsure right now about TikTok, or if you're unsure you should be on there, go ahead and claim your business name.
Yes.
Your name. Claim it now.
Yeah.
And then you can always start using it later or when you kind of figure things out, but definitely claim it now.
And it's not too late. Like so many businesses aren't, even big brands aren't on TikTok yet. So you haven't missed the train.
No,
it's still relatively new, but it's the #1 downloaded app in the world right now. So it's, something is going on there. You need to pay attention to it. Don't be scared. You just need to do some research, get comfortable with the app. And always, if you're going to use TikTok, to create TikToks, use the native platform. That's where you're going to get the most traction. They have the sounds built in and all that stuff. So if you can get comfortable with that, you're good.
Yeah. And I think, again, like any of these apps, there's a learning curve. And I think that is what gives a lot of like marketing managers and companies like heartburn. They're like, okay, they want to be on TikTok, but they're like, this is so cumbersome. And the cool thing about TikTok is almost the more like just real you are, the better. Like that, and I certainly on TikTok, but I think on Reels as well, the more overly produced it is, the more people don't want it.
Yes.
They want just the real. So get on there, make mistakes. It's fine, but again, just do things that make sense for you. I mean, quick, easy videos, showing off like new products and tutorials, like how to, those work really well. On TikTok, education and entertainment is highly valued. And obviously we know Gen Z is all over TikTok. And I'm not saying that if you don't have a Gen Z person on your team, like somebody else can't do TikTok. But if you've got a Gen Z person on your marketing staff or like a Gen Z person that, is savvy in marketing, and I guarantee you they're already savvy in TikTok, then they would probably be a good person to sort of help it get going for you because they're going to understand it the best. But Gen Z is not the only group on TikTok. Kelly, we were just talking yesterday, the largest growing group are women millennials, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think boomer women as well are a really strong group. Yeah. And they're not, the thing is that group is not necessarily posting on there like Gen Z is, but they're using it they're using it like a search engine.
Yes, exactly.
They are. That's the new thing with TikTok. It's very much becoming a search engine of how to, or looking for specific products. So that's when hashtags are really important, that you have a really solid hashtag strategy when you start posting on TikTok, because people are searching.
Yeah. Yes. I was going to say that too. Hashtags are extremely important on TikTok. Yeah. That is how people will find you. And that's how they're searching.
Yeah. And just one piece of advice from someone who is on the advertising side of this. So when you create your business TikTok account and you're posting, and some of it's good, some of it isn't, that's fine. Play with it. But when you want to have your first advertisement, your first paid ad, it needs to do well the first time, or your second, third, and fourth aren't going to convert as well. So get comfortable, then start putting a budget behind whatever it is that you want to advertise. But don't do it right away. Just have fun first. And then once you get good at it, when you see traction, when you see likes and shares and all that stuff, then you know that you've got a sweet spot. Then start advertising, but be careful first.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Sarah, thanks for saying it, because that's a huge tip. So we're going to talk about Reels next, but I just want to say, we've got quite a few blog posts about TikTok and videos. So check that out. You can check out Novella's TikTok, and you can check out our blog on our website at novellabrandhouse.com if you want more information about that. And if you're thinking about advertising on TikTok, obviously get in contact with us, because it can be, as Sarah just said, it's a little tricky, and you really want to come out of the gate doing well on that. Coming out strong. Yeah. Okay. So Reels. I personally love Reels, but I know, and I think there's not as much of a learning curve on those. I think it's a little bit easier to use than TikTok. But here's the thing about Reels. And Instagram has said it, I don't know how many times. That's what they value. Yes. That's what they want you to use. Mm-hmm. That's what they serve up. And you don't have to dance. You don't have to do that on TikTok either. We should say that. You don't have to dance. You don't have to point to things either. That's annoying. But if it's your jam, that's cool. But you don't have to do that.
Right.
You can, I mean, again, just thinking about how you want to show up, but you can do, now it's like 15, 30s a minute. They've replaced what was it called before? Like the longer version of the video.
IGTV or
Yeah, IGTV. Like it's all just reels now. But I mean, what would any like special tips you guys want to say about that? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that Reels is a different audience. I mean,
yeah,
because when I'm a TikTok person, I don't know how that happened, but when I go to Reels, all I'm seeing is like recycled TikTok stuff that I saw 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But there are also people who are not migrating over to TikTok that are on Reels, and they're also on Facebook. Do they call that Reels? I don't know what they call that, but it's basically Reels. They're putting these short content videos in your face constantly. So I think it's a different audience. You can go a little bit longer. I think the content is not so like the intention of the content is not to go viral necessarily, whereas TikTok is like, that's the main goal. So it's a little bit slower paced. It's for sort of a different, maybe target client. And I think a little bit older, maybe. So that's beneficial to some brands. I know with when I do like any sort of meta ad and I have a Reels placement, it does really, really well. Really well. You get a lot of traction with that.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, the other thing too about Instagram is it really is a top of the funnel marketing tool.
Yes.
So that's why Reels is so important, because if you're trying to extend or grow your brand awareness, and Reels is being served up the most by Instagram, that is a way you're going to be able to get out in front of more people. But Sarah, like you mentioned earlier, that your hashtag strategy has to be really important as well. And not just using random hashtags, like be really thoughtful, and 3 to 5 is kind of a good gauge on that. But one thing I will say is that Instagram is constantly, they're definitely playing catch up. I mean, overall, they're playing catch up. Have you guys heard about Be Real, an app?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm on the app because my kids are. It is actually really fun. But it's a total Gen Z thing. And Instagram, they just announced, or it just kind of came out the other day, that they're coming up with this thing called Candid Challenges. It's a total knockoff on Be Real. But I just bring that up because, I mean, Sarah, like you said, what you saw on TikTok 3 weeks ago, like now is over on Instagram. Instagram is trying to change they're trying to modify their algorithm so it's more like TikTok.
I feel like the users spoke back though, and nobody liked that.
No. So, what I would say on that is, again, like we were saying with TikTok, just get in there and play around with it. People don't want perfection anyway. So it's fine. And, hey, if you do it and it doesn't come out the way, delete it. It's not permanent. And obviously with Reels, you can have them just show up as a reel. You can have them show up in your feed. And then I always recommend teasing it to your story as well, just so you've got the most. Yeah, just you get the most. And you don't even have to do it that day. Sometimes I actually like to give it a day or two after the reel goes live and then tease it in the story, because that just amps up your, kind of eyes, and like it gives you like another boost, if you will, for the reel.
That's a great tip.
The thing is, a lot of times we'll end it here. So you can do, we want people to never do more work than you have to, like use your content as many places as possible. So Instagram doesn't necessarily like it when people repost from TikTok over to their platform. I've heard that they don't serve those up as well. I don't know. I don't know how true that is. I do know that if you try to make something in the Reels app and then download it first before you post it to Reels, Instagram has now stripped the music out of it. So if you're creating something in Reels, you need to post it first and then download it, and you can post it other places. LinkedIn, video, I feel like works really everywhere, but LinkedIn, not that you can't post video there, you can, but it does not perform as well. the carousel post, the like like a visual post, those work better, like a picture graphic post, that type of thing. So, okay, it's 20 minutes. We will end it there today. Kelly and Sarah, thank you. Thanks for being here with me. April missed a good conversation. She's going to be bummed. But again, like I said earlier, if you want more information about Reels or TikTok or video in general, we have several blog posts on our website about that. You can also go look at our Instagram. Novella is on TikTok as well, and you can check out some of the videos that we've done there. All right, that's it. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.